And Richard's a very happy man because we're playing his favourite song again.
He gets a bump every time.
I know.
Every
doesn't
time.
he?
That's amazing, yeah.
Happy days. Do you know why else he's happy this morning, David?
Why?
Because there's massive Rolling Stones news.
Oh, yeah, he's a big Stones head, is he, Dickie? All right, Richard, what's going on? Tell us what's happening with the band this time, man.
What's going on?
Well, it is a happy day when we're featuring the Beatles and the Rolling Stones, you know, two of the greatest groups of all time. Dare I say the great... Oh, sorry. Coldplay might be watching. Look, it's a big year for the Stones, of course, with the release of Hackney Diamonds. This was the first single, Angry. Their first studio album in 18 years, which has been very, very well received. And this morning they have announced they will be going on the road next year. 16 stadium shows across the United States and one in Canada, kicking off April the 28th in Houston and winding up mid-July in sunny California. Look, there's about a week between most of these gigs that they've announced. And you don't have to be Prince Rupert Lowenstein, their former financial manager, to know that they will be adding...
That's a deep cut.
What Prince is this?
They'll be adding extra shows when they start selling out. And I got $50 that says they might just be here before the end of next year as well.
Right.
Nothing announced.
$50.
But Australia is a very buoyant touring market, as we know. A key territory for the Stones. They can make good money.
You're really
here.
selling this hard.
Fertile ground.
Are you listening, Mick?
Keep your fingers crossed, but don't put your house on it. Tickets on sale for those US and the Canadian date next Friday if you're heading that way. It's pretty significant, really.
It's incredible.
These guys are in their 80s and
Yeah, but Paul
selling out
McCartney just did
stadiums.
it, so it's like, you know what? I expect them to do it now that I've seen Paul McCartney.
Yeah, but not too many people do it.
No, that's true.
Yeah. How good. That's going to be so fun.
Yeah, it will be.
Okay, a bit of new music out today, Dickie.
Look, Shawn Mendes, we love this guy. He's teamed up with a whole bunch of other really super talented people. He's got a new song with English songwriter Jacob Collier and British rapper Stormzy, who's so cool, which features 19-time Grammy-winning gospel legend Kirk Franklin and a full-on gospel choir. Beautiful song, beautiful song. Yeah, lovely vocals on it. Witness Me. It's worth having a good listen to that, all the various colours of the vocal performances. Yeah, it's on your music platform as we speak, or as they sing. Yeah, right now.
Leo DiCaprio, he is kind of still out, like, promoting stuff, I guess, and because the Oscars are coming, and he probably wants one. So what's he saying about his future?
Well, he hits the big 5-0 next year. I mean, he'll always be sort of Gilbert Grape to me. But he's just great. He's like a fine wine getting better with age. He sat down with his Killers of the Flower Moon co-star.
Gilbert Grape was the reference that I thought was an odd thing to remember him for.
Yeah.
I don't feel always be Gilbert Grape. I mean, it was a tough role to remember him for. Maybe
that was his watch.
Wow. Okay.
Maybe This Boy's Life.
He'll always be a youngster to me
Yes,
because he was a star.
I was picking up what you were putting down, Dickie. Don't worry.
It's a tough room.
I'm with you.
Getting Carl heckling it from the sidelines. Look, he sat down with Lily Gladstone, who's fantastic in Killers of the Flower Moon, to discuss what's next for him. Hey, you decide.
You're 49 years old. How the hell did that happen?
I have no idea. We were talking about our first interview that may have been 30 years ago.
What do you want to do before you turn 50?
Good question.
Well, you know, every now and then.
You know what? Just one more movie. One more movie.
One more movie? You're 50. You're not dying.
Yeah, no, well,
One more movie.
Do you know what? Sometimes it's good to keep your expectations low.
And also, you're Leo DiCaprio. It's like you're 50 next year. What are you going to do? Like a short independent film? I mean, he makes big blockbusters.
Makes big blockbusters.
They take a long time.
Martin Scorsese and him have got another.
They'll do another one for sure.
Right. All right. Okay, finally, a few A-listers have turned out for a new holiday display.
It's a good store, the Saks Fifth Avenue. If you've ever been to New York City, you get your socks and undies there. It's terrific. Anyway, they've rolled out the red carpet for their signature store in trendy downtown Manhattan, teaming up with Dior. Look at this stuff to create the Carousel of Dreams light extravaganza. 10-story building it is, featuring 300,000 LED lights. That's a lot. Jennifer Lawrence was there with her fellow Hunger Games star Rachel Zegler, who stars in the prequel. She was also asked to speak at the event and suffered a little wardrobe malfunction.
No.
Yeah. Have a look
Oh,
at this.
no.
Oh my God.
Her belt fell off, but if your belt's going to fall off, there's no
Best
way
that
you'd
it's the
rather
waist
be
belt. Yeah.
than that's Saks Fifth Avenue.
Looked like she swore. So she did a
probably
swear
did.
word.
Yeah, I think she probably did.
No, she's very
She's a bit sweary bear, isn't
Yeah,
she?
or something like that.
That's why
Thanks,
we love
Dickie.
her. Thanks, Dickie.
Absolute pleasure.
That was a real
Social
ride.
science.
Thank you.
See you at the other end of the show with some more Leo.
I think it was
news.
good.
Company this morning. The Rolling Stones are in for a massive 2024. The band have announced this morning that they're hitting the road for a big stadium tour of North America next year. It follows the release of their newest album, Hackney Diamonds, but fans can also expect to hear some of the classics as well. It all kicks off in Houston at the end of April and it wraps 3 months later in California. There isn't any news yet of Aussie dates, but we are keeping our fingers and toes crossed for those. Leonardo DiCaprio is opening up about his goals ahead of his big 50th birthday next year. He sat down with his Killers of the Flower Moon co-star as part of an interview with Good Morning America. Have a look at this.
You're 49 years old. How the hell did that happen?
I have no idea. We were talking about our first interview that may have been 30 years ago.
What do you want to do before you turn 50?
Good question.
Well, you know, every now and then.
You know what? Just one more movie. One more movie.
Barbie is wanting to call Australia home full-time once again. Yes, it seems the Barbie star is looking to permanently relocate from LA next year. She's currently in talks with different agents to find the perfect home for her and her hubby, Tom Ackley. And while they're still dividing their time between here and the States, Margot's just wanting to be a little bit closer to her family in Brizzy. Now, speaking of Barbie, Taylor Swift had her own Barbie moment during one of her concerts. The heel from her sparkly Louboutin shoe broke off during her concert in Brazil, leaving her hovering on her tiptoes. Fans very quickly drew the comparison to that opening scene of the Barbie movie. Some huge news out of Hollywood now, and it looks like James Gunn has found his next Lex Luthor. Deadline are reporting that Nicholas Hoult has been cast in the role as part of the next Superman legacy film. He follows in the footsteps of Kevin Spacey and Jesse Eisenberg, who have both portrayed the villain on screen. Superman Legacy is set for release in 2025. And following a record-breaking number of submissions, the nominees for next year's Aussie Country Music Awards are in. Felicity Urquhart, Josh Cunningham have picked up 6 Golden Guitar Award nominations. James Johnston and the Wolf Brothers also received an impressive 6 nods. The big winners from this year, Brooke McClymont and Adam Eckersley, have again been nominated for 5 awards. The ceremony will kick off on January 27 in Tamworth, and tickets can be purchased via the website on screen now. And finally, if you've got a spare million lying around, you can snag an iconic piece of film history. The original head of E.T. from Steven Spielberg's classic film is going up for auction. It's expected to fetch up to 7 figures when it hits the block in December. If you've ever dreamt of becoming Michael Keaton, you can also bid for his original Batman suit. It's only up for around $70,000 US. What a steal.
He's a
You couldn't afford not to.
ET's worth more than that.
Oh, no. Be a fun one to have when the kids get home from school. Little Harper, imagine it.
It's terrifying.
6 a.m.